CDPR Red's fall to woke has officially begun. Rest in peace.
Cyberpunk 2077's legacy will always be hurt with how it launched, the same way many can and will never forget how Sean Murray and Hello Games marketed and released No Man's Sky. Both games have experienced comebacks, but many will not
Forgiveness will not be demanded, but it shall be granted.
forget those very ugly beginnings. With CDPR, they were developing the most highly anticipated game of all time, the follow-up to the fantastic Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and its game-sized expansions. The game that really put CDPR on the map and at the top of the industry, along with their many
Yeah, The Witcher was definitely a very, very big deal. Still is, in fact. Even though everyone's trying to do their best to completely destroy the franchise. Starting from the TV show, ending with the games and whatnot.
pro-consumer statements and promises. They seemingly were leading by example, and there was so much excitement to see them tackling the dark future with a larger-than-life RPG experience. And all that hype and anticipation, years of it, fell flat at launch, particularly because of Cyberpunk's unacceptable state. It was buggy, broken, full of missing features, an open world that lacked interactivity, barely functional AI, and execs had blatantly lied about certain aspects of it, such as the game running surprisingly well on current gen consoles. They tried
Anytime you have a new game coming out and someone says, oh, it runs great on the newest Xbox and PlayStation, you instantaneously know that's a lie. Or either they completely downgraded the game to absolute high heaven for it to be even playable on 15 FPS on those consoles. Consoles are a plague, and you should feel bad if you're a console enjoyer. Or not, depends.
hiding this issue at launch by not giving out console codes, and it backfired big time. Around 2022, I had even reported on this channel that I spoke with a very senior developer that said they remembered executives sitting down and playing the game on console. They saw the issues, devs warned them, and they ignored it. Now, in the months to follow Cyberpunk
Well, what are you gonna do? Not ignore it and not make money?
2077's launch disaster, we saw a couple of major exposés, the first of which came from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, titled Inside the Game's Disastrous Rollout. And some of the notable revelations was that the E3 2018 demo was almost entirely fake, developing the engine behind the game slowed production, execs to devs will figure it out along the way, several top Witcher 3 devs left due to clashing over the vision with Adam Badowski, this happened mid-development, devs shared memes, made bets on the inevitable delays, and the size of the game was scaled back and features cancelled. We also learned that CDPR was understaffed for the project of this scope, sudden growth led to teams being unorganized, execs dismissed engineers' concerns over launching the game on last-gen console hardware, and the studio ultimately knew the game was in rough shape weeks before launch, and the biggest thing that
Well, of course they knew. What do you think? They didn't know it was a buggy mess that's barely playable? Of course they did.
like the game's development was the company focusing on marketing at the expense of development. We also saw another major expose coming from Polish outlet Spider's Web, in which they revealed that outsourcing companies described the early 2020 build as one of the worst they ever got, and Spider's Web from their own CDPR source reiterated that building the game and engine at the same time plagued development as designers had to wait on the engine to test features and ideas. Cyberpunk 2077
Well, yeah, that obviously doesn't exactly sound like a good idea for some reason. I wonder why.
77 was in development for a very long time. With these revelations coming to light, the behind the scenes chaos, it really came as no surprise that much of the studio that developed The Witcher 3 was long gone. In my investigation that I did in 2022, I found that of the 320 CDPR devs in The Witcher 3 credits, almost 2/3 of the studio was gone. And these were by no means small names. John Mamaeus, the Krakow studio head, left the company in March of 2021. Konrad Tomaskiewicz was the game director of The Witcher 3. He left in May of 2021. And then it goes on and on. The list of major departures is extensive. Now, say what you will about this past and all of the talent that CDPR has lost, but Phantom Liberty defied expectations. They truly delivered, along with the 2.0 update, which revamped almost the entire game.
Yeah, it's really strange, isn't it? It's almost like the people who make something good once don't necessarily make something good twice. And that people who have made something bad once don't necessarily make something bad twice. This is so strange, by the way. This whole 3.5 minutes intro currently seems so strange because the first part is, aha, look at this. Cyberpunk was destined to fail because all of the people who made it left. Well, all of the people who made Witcher good left. Yeah, they did, and it wasn't great. It was a buggy mess, true. But then, without the same people, without the same talent that previously lived, they somehow made Phantom Liberty, and it was an absolute banger, and everyone loved it. I I don't know. I really think no one has any idea what they're doing with their making a game at this point, unless they're trying to improve minorly, aka the Dark Souls series, on something that they have already made and they're not taking any risks at all. I really think no one honestly knows what the hell they are doing.
OpenCritic, the game received widespread acclaim from critics, and even to this day on Steam, the user review scores for Cyberpunk 2077 have become fantastic. Almost 700,000 reviews, 84% of them are positive, and the Phantom Liberty page alone also has pretty much a similar score of 89% based on 15,000 reviews, and Cyberpunk is still played by a lot of players to this day. But now all attention is...
Yeah, and also modding for Cyberpunk is pretty wild also, okay? There's a lot of XXX mods there, okay?
on the future of the company, which at the moment is The Witcher 4, Project Polaris, and just recently it entered full production, or it's about to, and it's probably still a couple of years away, but there's a lot of question marks about the direction that CDPR is taking the franchise.
Oh yeah, this is the meat and potatoes of everything, right? Because it is very abundantly clear that CDPR Red has decided to completely just storm into the woke sphere without any regrets or hesitation, okay? CDPR literally became completely woke after the disaster of Cyberpunk 2077 and how they got into probably way more debt than they could have survived, and then some I'm assuming some kind of BlackRock or Vanguard or JP Morgan bailed them out in return for becoming a little bit more progressive, as they say. You know, things like that. Now they have gotten a Vogue Award. They're creating a studio in California, aka Vogue Shithole. What's the Canada Montreal? That Canada Montreal. They're making a studio of one month. Another Vogue Shithole. Like there is no shot that The Witcher 4 is gonna be even remotely good. It's gonna be a garbage dumpster fire. The Witcher 4 also is not going to feature Geralt because his story is effectively over. So they have two choices. One, create a new character that no one gives a fuck, and that needs to be a woman, some magically how. Or two, I should say, make Geralt return for some reason, even though his story is pretty much over. Okay, there's nothing else to do. It's over. The story's over. Oh yeah. So it's gonna be over. It is gonna be girl bossing all the way through.
We did see some developers acknowledging the fact that they're never going to change some people's minds. A sequel director said that CDPR may never win some fans back, but hopes future games like The Witcher 4 will. That's unfortunately the price we have to pay, and that is very, very true. But one thing about The Witcher 4, which was recently controversial, was Doug Cockle, who is the voice actor for Geralt of Rivia. He spoke about, again, that The Witcher 4 won't be focusing on Geralt. It isn't about him, but he will be in it. The problem is that a lot of people took this as CDPR, this is them giving in to an agenda, but this has been known for years. And if you actually played The Witcher 3, specifically actually its Blood and Wine expansion, there was a major scene which was a goodbye to the character of Geralt of Rivia for a while, right towards the end of the expansion. But at the time, it is worth mentioning, in 2015, they told us that this was Geralt's final adventure for the time being. And this was a senior writer at CDPR, Jacob Schmel.
Yeah. But at the time, people were not thinking, oh, yeah, well, okay, it's gonna end, but, you know, the next move is gonna be woke! Yeah, no one thought that that's gonna happen like that.
Like he told IGN, we felt that we owed Geralt a proper goodbye and decided to part ways with a boom. That was Blood and Wine. That was that all those years ago. But obviously it has been 9 years and many individuals did not realize this, I suppose. Now this leads us to allegations that were recently made by Endemia on YouTube. He's a YouTuber, talks about a lot of gaming subjects, and as he said in the below tweet, I talked to a Ubisoft insider about the current state of the industry as well as another source which tells me places like CD Projekt Red and even Funcom, which is making Dune Awakening, are in dire trouble. And we saw a CD Projekt Red CEO, the joint CEO, speaking out against
Dune Awakening doesn't look problematic currently. It looks unfinished and it needs a lot of polish, but doesn't seem problematic because I know about that.
this tweet or his actual video, which we're going to talk about some of the major claims that he made in a second. Mikhail Novakowski, he said in a tweet, seems we live in times where anyone can report complete nonsense and make a story out of it. CDPR talent leaving, we have the lowest rotation of people in recent years. Keyword recent years. DEI driven recruitment, we hire based on merit and talent alone.
Oh. 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 No.
Just as we make games driven by artistic vision alone. Why did we choose Unreal Engine? Because it enables us to work on our games more efficiently and we remain cutting edge tech-wise.
My assumption is it's just easier to implement top surgical scars and bottom surgical scars in that engine.
Witcher 3's director left? Well, yeah, more than 2 years ago. Now can we stop looking for conspiracy theories and go back to making cool stuff? And my god, did this lead to tons of outrage. And we actually even saw more CD Projekt Red developers chiming in, agreeing with the sentiment by the CEO of the company. We saw Sebastian Kalemba, he is a VP at the company, saying, I completely agree. At CDPR, our commitment...
Okay. Sebastian Kalemba Twitter. Okay, Sebastian Kalemba Dad VP Game Director CDPR Project on the Witcher, former head of animation and animation director on Cyberpunk 2077. Witcher, huge fan of Wizards Magic. There you go. That's the fucking red flag right there, boys. He's a fan of Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is complete garbage, and you should feel bad about liking it. I feel the worst because I make a living off of it.
To quality and artistic vision is evident in everything we do. Ultimately, it's our passion for creating extraordinary experiences and compelling characters that drives us. We're not here to make games for the sake of making games. We're here to create emotional experiences that resonate with gamers. The creative director on Cyberpunk 2077 saying, Mikhail is right while the outrage grifter is a liar. Our only goal, also everyday reality, is to make the best shit with the most talented people, and the only agenda is to make you cry when the credits roll, and a few times prior to that too. And to be fair, they did achieve that with Cyberpunk 2077. The way they went about characters in that game is honestly, I don't think any other developer has touched them. Their writing is tremendous, and I do think people need to realize that Phantom Liberty, even post all of these, talent leaving, it still was a fantastic experience, one of my favorite in years. Now, this creative director at CDPR did elaborate further in some comments, one individual asking what DEI culture means at CDPR. He said, for me, diversity within a team is a necessary component for creating authentic open worlds, rich nuance.
That sounds completely fucking stupid. Okay, what purpose diversity serves if you're gonna make it an authentic open world? Is it gonna be just a giant melting pot? Oh no, what a horrible, horrible answer. Diversity is necessary because other people can't understand other people and we need all of the melting pot BS. Oh, that is so sad.
Detailed, unexpected. You need that variety of perspectives. Later they asked, you mentioned from your personal experience you need diversity. He said others can build teams and create whatever they like. Obviously I'm talking about my teams and my approach to create a world like Cyberpunk's dark future of the USA, a country of immigrants, world melting pot. One needs artists and designers from all walks of life. And then they said, can you give an example of someone you consider diverse, adding a diverse suggestion that aided in the success of the game? And he talks about Judy and her storyline. But obviously I think she was referring to actual developers, and he says he's not going to do that. He's not going to call out specific people. But I will say
That's that is such a stupid false thing to say. Oh, I am not gonna call out these people on amazing things that they have done. Yeah, I'm not gonna give them that recognition because it's not like calling someone out for doing a bad job, which is understandable if you don't want to bring it up because why would you? But in this case, you're talking about, oh yeah, these people did a great job. They're amazing. They added so much, and then they don't want to name them. Interesting. Why?
this. Obviously, the bugs and all that aside, the story of the characters was fantastically well done. The romance of Judy, Pan Am, just the best in the industry, in my opinion. So if this developer is indeed saying how they went about Cyberpunk in that regard is only going to continue, then that's great. That's music to my ears. But only time will tell. We'll have to wait until we actually see Witcher 4 and see if they meet that goal. And that skepticism, that concern that I know some of you have already probably typed in the comments below, that will follow CD Projekt Red forever. You cannot change the past, and this is their responsibility to prove gamers wrong. Like Phantom Liberty, the awards it received and everything, great comeback story. But that does not change the launch disaster and all of the lies that CD Projekt Red executives fed for years. So yeah, Witcher 4 is gonna be under a microscope, and that really goes for all subsequent releases, Cyberpunk 2 included. But specifically with The Witcher 4, and with this now being the direct follow-up to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and the ending of Geralt of Rivia and those fantastic expansions, it is their responsibility to exceed expectations. If they don't, oh boy, they are gonna hear it. One of the lead designers at CD Projekt Red also saying, I 200% agree with Mikhail. Retention in the 2 years that I've been here, maybe 2 people from my team left compared to what I was used to at other companies with 1 to 3 people a month. Engine, we work better with each other this way. Don't give made up drama views and go make games. An associate game director at CD Projekt Red, he was also one of the lead developers on the base game of Cyberpunk 2077, saying, thank you, Mikhail. Games of Phantom Liberty quality are possible in teams where people are taken care of. Talent is retained, hired only because of competency, and there is no BS agenda of any kind.
This is so stupid. Literally, not in the same tweet, in the same vein, these people are saying, well, of course we've hired diverse people because we need to know, because they need to tell us about their lived experiences because they are so important to us. What? You're literally in one second you're telling me, oh yeah, we hire all the diversity hires because they are different and we need them because their only criteria is diversity, and then you're like, oh no, only people of talent get hired, bruv. These two things don't work together for some reason.
Only thing I want is to make a remarkable art that moves you deeply. And beyond these lengthy response coming from some of the notable CD Projekt Red developers, we saw a bunch more retweeting and also boosting up the initial comment coming from the CEO. So in total, we had over 20 CD Projekt Red developers endorsing these comments coming from the CEO of the company, pushing it back against these remarks coming from this YouTuber. Now, specifically what Endymion said, these are the allegations that he made, which got this response from a CD Projekt Red executive. He specifically alleged that CD Projekt Red is in an absolute chaos right now based on who actually is still working there that used to work on the previous game. Apparently, lots of senior talent has already left CD Projekt Red. For example, the director of The Witcher 3 has long left the studio, and they've already created their own studio with their own new game as well. Apparently, places like Warhorse Studios, the makers of Kingdom Come Deliverance, they have actually been poaching talent from CD Projekt Red like crazy these past years. Now, it is worth mentioning that Konrad Tomaskiewicz, the game director of The Witcher 3, he left due to allegations that he was hit with back in 2021. Those are major allegations saying that he was bullying staff during the game's development, and after an investigation was made against him, I don't think anything was found, but he said he needed time off, and he left CDPR after like 17 years being with the company. So it is worth mentioning that it wasn't like he just left for the door. It was because of things that were said behind the scenes, an investigation that eventually came to light. And this is what CDPR, these are the credits from The Witcher 3. I think it is worth mentioning that almost all of the top names in The Witcher 3 credits are gone. A majority of them are gone. Now compare that to the Phantom Liberty credits and it's a much different story. They have been able to retain a lot more staff in recent years, that is true. So I do think that we are
This this really scares me, by the way, because this is how woke ruins the gaming industry. This is what they do. They subvert everyone who is actually talented, who knows how to do their job, who have gotten achievements in their life, to these husks of creativity that are not allowed to do anything, and who are on whom it is engraved that they always need to toe the line, answer to the message, and say what needs to be said, that's aligned with the woke agenda. These people who made Phantom Liberty, I think they did a good job. I think no one's going to really argue that Phantom Liberty was a great thing, right? But I mean, this how are these people? What's going to happen with these people after that? Now that the CDPR Red has literally won a Vogue Award, how is this going to play out here? Because their creativity is going to be stifled in in order to just promote political biases and beliefs. So what's going to happen with this is kind of crazy.
Story. They have been able to retain a lot more staff in recent years. That is true. So I do think that we are now a couple of years past this mass exodus, and this is a new CD Projekt Red, and we got to experience that with the Phantom Liberty, and that quality still was there. Now with The Witcher 4, we'll see what happens. I think my major concerns are more so with the Cyberpunk 2 Project Orion, because it's a CD Projekt Red production that is not being developed by the Polish studio, but an American studio that was recently formed, and it has a ton of staff that we don't know what to expect out of them.
Sad.
But it is true that a lot of the talent that was responsible.
Oh, was it Vancouver or did I say Toronto? It doesn't matter. Canada's literally dead.
Responsible for The Witcher 3 and its fantastic expansions have formed new studios. Rebel Wolves is probably the biggest example of that. They actually was a new game studio from The Witcher 3 game director, Konrad Tomaskiewicz. He formed this back in 2022, and they have been creating a dark fantasy RPG in Unreal Engine 5. Again, that was announced in 2022. We also saw another studio come about, Fool's Theory. That was also in 2022, and they are now being the studio behind the Witcher remake. So a bunch of former CD Projekt Red developers formed a different studio, and they're still working with CDPR. And then more recently, we had another studio that was formed in 2023 by CD Projekt Red veterans. This studio is called Blank. Unsure what exactly they're working on. There's at least 3 studios formed by CD Projekt Red veterans, pretty much. But back to the article that covers these allegations made by Endymion. He continued saying that, I was told that the problems that are plaguing Ubisoft, like diversity hires, are also starting to damage and ruin CD Projekt Red as well.
Well, they literally admitted to that. They said that, oh yeah, we need to hire diverse people for the job because they're fucking diverse. Yeah, it's kind of over.
According to that other source, CD Projekt has begun to rely heavily on outsourcing to contractors to help with their games because the new talent they have is nowhere near where they need them to be right now. And specifically, it is...
I mean, if that's the case, why do you even call it talent to begin with?
It's worth mentioning what he's talking about, the diversity and all this. It all goes back to, well, this video specifically. And it started with CDPR having a commitment to ESG. And this video was, as you can...
yes. Inclusivity, segregation, and gayness. Very cool.
See, mass downvoted at the time, 11,000 dislikes to 300, and a lot of people have been accusing CDPR for a while, saying that they have an agenda now with their games. But I will...
That's me!
Show off part of this video so you get an understanding of what they mean by their diversity and inclusivity commitment, because I think it is a little different than what, some people think. And these remarks...
No, it's exactly what you can't imagine. Because remember, there is no such thing as DEI that doesn't lie to everyone.
Remarks are made by another CDPR executive, for what it's worth.
Represent a diverse set of mindsets, social groups, and backgrounds.
Why do you need diverse social groups and backgrounds? How does that help to do anything?
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, we tackled the issue of domestic violence, strained family relationships, and discrimination. Cyberpunk 2077, on the other hand, addresses alienation and dehumanization of society. Our products reach millions of people around the world, so we want to focus on what's important and encourage gamers to reflect upon them.
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't, these messages that they put in these games, you don't need to do any research for that. It's kind of really self-explanatory and understandable. Like, a normal person is gonna understand the concept of isolation in society, or, about bad things. Growing up is literally is just literally you coming to terms with the understanding that 50% of people have a visible alcoholism problem.
choices that surround them. The second important aspect relates to our team. We strive to ensure that we are a company people love working at.
I'm sorry. What?
Company people
That's a
love
man. Wait, no, did he?
our team. We strive to ensure that we are a company
Yes, that is a man.
people love
I can't fucking.
to ensure.
Okay, well, we need to figure it out, boys. What 0.2 speed?
That we are a company.
It's a fist. Still a fist. Why would it still be a fist? Still a fist. Still a fist. And then it's open. What kind of what in God's green earth just did I witness? How do you what? I'm so confused. Anyway,
Love working at. We give our team members the opportunity to engage in ambitious projects and pursue unique career development paths.
And the thing is, the allegation that people have made because of this commitment, people believe that CDPR is hiring based on diversity and not based on merit.
by the way, not okay, you do it with two hands, but not even fucking jumping? Yeah, I play volleyball. I have a problem with that.
They're trying to fill quotas that probably will satisfy investors or certain groups to give them points and such. And many have also pointed out that CDPR has a diversity and inclusion page, which goes over a lot. And so it says,
a lot of vomit.
their mission for this is, our purpose is to create revolutionary role-playing games with memorable stories that inspire gamers. It is worth mentioning, so far there is nothing specifically about hiring, at least yet. We can only deliver on these.
I mean, they literally tweeted that they're gonna hire based on skin color and whatever.
Goals and promises with an amazing, passionate team whose talent and professional skills reflect the breadth of experience in the world. And I think that's part is what people believe that means, that they're hiring not based on talent and merit. A diverse and inclusive work environment boosts creativity and innovation.
How? How does it boost creativity and innovation?
Which is exactly what we need in order to push the limits of technology and storytelling. And then Adam Kaczynski,
How?
the CEO, I believe he's no longer at the time, but he said, our mission is to create revolutionary games for players around the world, and this is why we need to empower the potential of our teams. The diversity of perspectives unlocks creativity and increases innovation. I think the argument that CDPR is trying to make is that diversity of perspectives doesn't mean that they're not trying to find the best talent on earth. Many individuals.
I mean, yeah, you can easily claim that, but at the end of the day, if you are literally saying, "Oh yeah, we need diversity no matter what," that means that you're gonna give up on the merit part. If you're gonna say, "Yeah, we need diversity no matter what," you are inherently giving up on the merit part.
Believe that's just not true when you have something like this in a page like this. Now it does continue, we're achieving it by encouraging diverse teams, and this goes back to the allegations that CDPR has been hit with. Our identity is the core of who we are, and it's what we share with others while working together. And I do think that when you look at some of the woke games like Baldur's Gate 3 and such, I don't think that just necessarily means the product's
I don't think Baldur's Gate is woke at all.
automatically going to be terrible. And so far, CDPR has not given any indication that the quality is going to be dropping. And many of the lead writers and individuals that were a part of Cyberpunk 2077 Space Game and Phantom Liberty, they are still very much around and in control of the writing. So even if they have a diverse team, I don't think many people are, going to have issues with that. Although I think this is right now
I mean, if they don't make it woke, yeah, I'm okay with them having a diverse team or whatever. But again, this is not how most things in the world happen. That's the problem. This is why people are concerned. These are very glaring, in your face red flags at the end of the day.
A revolt against the industry because it's become so prevalent, the progressiveness of this industry, and many are fighting back against that. But back to this page, it also mentions they want inclusive leaders. They create healthy teams and relationships based on trust and understanding. Our diversity fuels us to create an inclusive environment where authentic leaders have the skills to listen to every person, overcoming unconscious biases and decision-making processes. Inclusion fosters the growth and resilience of our teams.
Overcoming unconscious biases and decision-making processes. That is honestly the most woke sentence I have heard in at least a couple of months.
Who feel empowered by leaders to take risks and boldly present different points of view, and they want equitable processes. Creating a space where everyone feels safe and respected is what we stand for. Equitable practices, we're not afraid.
That sounds bad, because that's the idea that you're going to create a space where everyone's happy is just the biggest amount of bullshit ever. That's never happening.
To stand for what we believe in by implementing inclusive benefits and creating a space where everyone can be themselves. We create a positive example for other companies and help positive social change. And I think some of this is fine. I do think that just the fact that they're calling this, diverse.
No, I bet if they explain what is positive social change, that's probably going to be something abhorrent.
Diversity and inclusion, it's going to make a lot of people upset because of what we've seen at other companies. And they do have a diversity and inclusion director, which, again, a position that has been met with a lot of controversy at other companies. We believe that talented and passionate people are our biggest strength, and creating a safe and inclusive workplace helps us create more room for them in the industry.
Okay, let me Google again. Agnieszka Zamalek Mich, whatever. LinkedIn, Facebook. Does she not have a Twitter? I'm sorry. Does she not have a Twitter? Twitter. No, she does not. It seems like, oh, that's this. Okay. What can we see in her Facebook? Oh, what is this? Rainbow flags. Just a couple of, yeah, it's definitely the same, by the way. Just a couple of rainbow flags out there. Very cool and not problematic in the slightest. Continue with Google. Shut the fuck up, LinkedIn. I'm never gonna be a part of you. Can't say anything else about that, but yeah. I mean, just a couple of very unsuspicious rainbow flags and all of that good stuff. Completely not bad at all. Just a couple of rainbow flags and a very clear agenda. Very cool.
At our company. And with all the controversy CDPR faced with its workplace culture before launch, I guess I'm not too surprised by this page, and only exists in recent years. And I think that is because of games media coming after CDPR. And obviously I don't think CDPR expected this reality, but the reason why we're getting this response from the CEO, I think they are nervous about what they've seen with Ubisoft and how that company is tanked down the toilet because of this anti-woke movement and people associating Ubisoft with that. And there's something that they do not want their next games to be associated with, but unfortunately, I think it's going to happen no matter what. They also say healthy teams are the ones where all team members feel good, valued, and safe, and these are our teams we want to empower inside Red by introducing various initiatives. They talk about diversity in games. At CDPR, we are committed to creating rich and immersive virtual worlds that provide gamers with high-quality entertainment, which is why we strive to create realities that are credible and internally consistent, which I'm not really sure how that has an association with diversity in games. Maybe.
Yeah, same. Again, they just lie about this shit. Diversity in games, equality, equity, and all of that woke garbage has no place in any of society, and they can only exist by trying to subvert reality.
Maybe the type of storyline, I'm not really sure where they're going with that. They also talk about girls in the game. We created a mentoring and scholarship program for high school girls to help them take their first steps in the video game industry, and this is another thing that was met with tons of controversy.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this is also illegal in Poland.
With some individuals using this as an example that CDPR is excluding men from hiring. And we did see a CD Projekt Red business developer respond to these allegations. Wow, the amount of times that the grifters that claim to love freedom and capitalism bring up the Women's Scholarship Program as proof is just unbelievable. Okay, let's assume you really are concerned about merit. You are not, as there are more or less the same amount of women and men on Earth. Would it make sense to encourage half the population to consider gaming as a job, as we already all are employing all capable men? So his allegation is that
His allegation is fucking stupid and sounds completely woke BS, by the way. The only thing this can ever honestly imply is, hey, women don't really like being gamers en masse. Hey, if you're a woman gamer, that's fine, but most women don't really like gaming, or programming, or cleaning sewage drains and pipes, okay? And they don't go for these jobs. Because they're different from men. I know, shocking news, more at 10. And that's pretty much it, honestly. That's pretty much it. But these people want to force them in there because reasons. They don't want to do it, but they are creating lucrative opportunities for people to just go in for no reason, and that's it. They are literally trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find anything that's non-shit, while they have literally a barrel filled with opportunity next to there that wants to take these opportunities. This is insane. If you care about merit, you are never gonna give women scholarship in gaming or programming.
they have as many capable men on staff already, and I guess they're having trouble finding any more talent, and they need, I guess, to reach out to women. I guess that's his argument. Games are getting more complex and need more and more people to make them. In Poland in particular, no good dev stays unemployed for long, so for the long-term health of the industry you claim to love, you better pray more women will consider pursuing a career in our industry.
This argument is stupid again. If you want more devs, then how about helping the ones that are already en masse going in there to succeed, not trying to poach people who don't want to even be in the industry to, effectively just lie their way in. It's stupid.
We should take any and all opportunities to encourage them to make games. And it is worth mentioning, I think CDPR did burn some bridges with The Witcher 3, so a lot of talent have gone to other Polish studios, so they truly might be at risk of not having enough talent, enough Polish voices, so maybe that is the reasoning. But he did continue further. He saw somebody actually specifically call him out. The individual said, wow, the amount of times that the hypocrites that claim to hate this and that type of discrimination defend the women's scholarship is just unbelievable. If only incompetent men are left as you claim, why do you need to ban them from the scholarship? So this directly is a response coming from this business developer.
That's also true. If there's no men left, then, you don't need to make it for women, because the men are not going to apply anyway.
At CDPR, he says, because the program was made to get more women, as we have all the men already, and I'm not exaggerating at all, there were open vacancies for more than a year that could not be filled. All specialists were already taken, so if you cannot get more men, now a hint for you, maybe we should try the other half of the human population to care enough to consider our industry. And then this individual did respond again saying, and that's why you need to close the program to men. And this developer responded again saying, maybe the third time will be the charm. There are no men left. All that wanted to get in are already working. We need to nudge them because there are not enough men to make games. I'm not talking about social justice. This is pure pragmatism.
That is... You know what that is? This alone, because this person believes that, okay? Rafal Yaki, whoever this person is, believes this. Actually, let me Google him real. At Gwen Bro Twitter. What is it? Let me check. No, that's some kind of other thing. At Gwent Bro. What? Oh, with a G? Oh, there we go. Okay. EP and showrunner for Cyberpunk, writers of The Witcher, Witcher, Ronin, and No Name manga. Bids Devon creative professor ex CDPR male. Okay. He's a furry. He's a furry! Glad we got that part sorted. Yeah, this person completely believes this. He doesn't understand how the person he's replying to does not understand this. And this is it. Because look at this. People who literally are incapable of understanding this point are already working there. It's over. It is literally over for CDPR because of this crap.
If we want games in the future, we need women to make them. But other than this scholarship program...
Okay. I think it's honestly over. Good job. 10 out of 10 Legacy Kill HD. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.